Hey, how's it going? So I decided to, I call it a midweek update, but we're way past midweek. So this deck project is taking over my life and it'll pass like everything else. So we kind of have to write it up. So everything's late and I'm just kind of trying to think back what I said in my first episode about trying to get something out every week and trying to take it easy on myself because, I don't want to get a bad episode out. I want to get something done. And I'm succeeding in getting stuff done on the car. Like stuff is getting done. So I'm happy with that. I'm not meeting my criteria of getting an episode out every Wednesday. So, anyway. So yeah, stay patient, stay tuned, and we'll keep moving forward. More to come right now. So we're deep into Saturday night here, and the idea is that I'm just gonna put the TV on. We're gonna knock much of this stuff out as fast as we can. Gotta get this axle. My goal is to get this car sitting on the back axle. So this is how we go. Let's rock and roll. So I took the old bushing out with a drill, just drilled out the rubber, and then the sleeve came out. I just had to heat it up a bit to get the drop out, and it did drop out. Melted a little bit in here, but not a big deal. I haven't painted these springs. I've hit this one with the with the wire brush on the drill, and I don't want to paint them. Like, I want to stay away from that. Looks like a model car. Like, it looks like, like something you build. Like, everything, this part goes flat black and that part. So this would never have been painted originally, I don't think. So what I've done, because I'll never look as gray as they did before, but I've just hit it with some that WC-40 liquid lithium grease, and just wipe the whole thing down. I might have to do it again just to kind of give it, because there is, like, you can see the real metal in here. There's still a little rust in here, but I don't know, I kind of want to look like it belongs on the road, not belongs in a museum. So that's what we're just doing now. Get these bushings out next. Oh! That's the end of Mr. Vice. Holy shit. Fucking. So that was fun. You didn't do it, I did. Broke the vise. I mean, I'll ask for another one for Christmas this year. But, so we got this bushing, and I don't know why it went better after I took the bolt out, but it did. And I imagine somebody's going to tell me why, but we're now ready to install this thing. And I just want to point out, right here, this is, I guess, on a Mustang, this would be a torque box, but here it's kind of an outrigger where the frame, rear part of the frame ends back there, and then the frame is in basically the rocker going forward, and then it straps back up to the stub frame up at the front there. And when I lifted this car originally, before I did any work to it, like when I just first brought it in the garage, the red car here, and I put a jack underneath this, it went right through the old rigger here. So this is from the California car, and look solid it is. Like that day when that happened, I realized I had bitten off way more than I can chew. It was one of those moments where you just kind of sit there and say, what did I do? But I just like looking at it now because I remember that day, and I was like, this could be tough. And it has been. It has not been tough. But here's the axle. The axle is painted up, and here's the brake lines. Put those back on, and shackles. Still got to paint up. Those are the Delco Pleasurizers are going in there. New old stock, or old stock, just stock, I guess. And then I gotta paint up the brackets for the bottom of them. So that'll be the next step after we get this kind of put up there. So we'll just kind of see if we can do this. Oh, okay. Dun, 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 dun. Ooh. Oh, yeah. This could be interesting. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Oh, all right. We might get some. We might have got. Oh, we definitely got something. Holy cow. All right. So now what I'm going to do is lift the back end up. Let's see if we can push it over far enough so it wants to go in. And I can't. I gotta move the jack. Well, that doesn't make sense because that's in farther than the back bracket. Whoa. Damn it, if we could go just a little more over. See what we can do here. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, come on, you fucking thing. There we go. Of course, that wants to be right where the jack is. We're painting the roses blue. We're painting the roses blue. Not green or red or not blue. We're painting the roses blue. Two shock brackets. Ready to go. Not ready to go, but drying. So we're starting to lose the light here, but oh geez, stepped on a block. And but But we're getting all the tins painted up for the rear springs. So hope you can see that. This bracket, front bracket for the back, the passenger side, back bracket for passenger side, shackle for the bottle U bolts, and where the shock absorber plugs in, both those. Got all the rear shackles here hanging from the basketball hoop. They can do. This guy's not giving me any friendly signs here. Look at that, eh? It is nasty. So we're just gonna get as much done. Obviously I won't be able to put that stuff together until tomorrow morning, but try to get as much done tonight, and then tomorrow morning, hopefully, if it's raining or whatever else it's doing, we can get the rest of that car, we get the rest of this put together. Hi YouTube, it's Stumpy. So we were up late, I was up late last night painting all the tins, to move everything inside. It's pouring here, so that's not good for weather, but good for the grass, and good for me because it's raining. I don't have to work on Maggie's farm today on her deck. But today with the tins painted, we're gonna try to get that axle tube in. And we're gonna call that a win for this week. And then next week, the goal will be to get the third member in, set up, and then the axles. It's been a trying week. mushroomed my threads on a couple of my axles because I didn't do that right. I broke my Princess Auto, or for the Americans, Princess Auto is basically like Harbor Freight vise in half. So I'm in the market for a new vise. So yeah, that was dumb. I kind of knew right before it went that it's gonna happen, but you know, you just hope. So yeah, that's what you'll see today. Hopefully we'll put all the tins in and go from there. Yay, the axle's going in. So the power went out here a little while ago, and then around the same time my memory card and my GoPro filled up. So this is on the phone, and the power's back on now, but I just kept working away. And this thing, so if you notice, we're now sitting on jack stands under the axle. There are no jack stands. There's one there, it's not doing anything, holding up the back of the car. I've had jack stands on the frame of this car, oh, for ages now. So I'm pretty happy with that. Like it's a good point to get to today. Good ending point for the episode. It's Very happy. Get to this point, like obviously we got the third member to clean up and do, but we're now, look at the, like, I don't know what, like, this thing doesn't move, these springs, so fairly impressed with that. If you look up here, I don't know if you can see it, there's a little smack in the top of that. When this car was derelict, the suspension collapsed on it and the axle was rubbing against the body. So to have this thing now at this point where the axle is underneath the car and it's sitting on the axle and the axle's not sitting on the body, and we're sitting on the new shock absorbers, makes me very happy. So it took a while to get to, and I'm not sure I learned a lot of lessons about some stuff, but yeah, that's where we're at. So look at that. We no longer have jack stands on the frame. We're sitting on the suspension, which is a nice place to be. The other thing I wanted to point out is that I ended up looking up torque specs for these U-bolts, and everything's between 40 and 45 foot-pounds. So I sit on 43 foot-pounds, and I did this side. And then if you watched earlier, I redid that side. I had to loosen it to get this axle to join up here, but I went back and I torqued them both just so everybody knows that they're properly torqued.